And actually, the word kalpita, even though the translation is imaginary, I hesitate to use it with the Jagat, because we can get to the place of having some kind of a dissociation. Dissociation means, you say, okay, this is imaginary Jagat, imaginary everything. I'm holding an imaginary job, meaning even if I don't attend, it's fine. Even if I don't do the work, it's fine. So that's not the idea. Kalpitam means, here, a projected reality. A projected reality which is dependent upon you, Kashi, Kashika. It is dependent on you, the self shining one. Everything shines after you. You know? Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. You for the I, you can say bhati, the I, the self, bhati, everything that the self, everything that relies on the self, everything that the self objectifies, anubhati, shines after. Everything shines in, the Jagat shines in borrowed feathers. In other words, the Jagat shines in a borrowed light of the self. This is what the problem is. And so therefore, this has to be understood. Because if you start thinking that the shine of the Jagat is one and the same as myself, it's the same. The shine may be the same, but there is an object-subject difference. The objects resolve into the subject does not resolve at all. That is the difference. And that is what has to be, understood. That is what has to be understood properly. And if this is not understood, verse number 2 will not make sense. And so therefore what? Mano nivritti, oh, that was the first one here. Yasyam idam kalpitam indrajalam. That is why it is kalpita. It's a projection. It's a projected net of goings on in which the one, becomes a bird of prey. And one flutters, and the more one flutters, the more caught one is in samsara. One becomes like a helpless bird, where the bird catcher throws a net and all of them get caught together. So that's why the samsara is not just one person. Samsara means, all the people that trouble you, they all have to be in this. It's a cohort of people. And then it's all the people that you interact with. You become samsara for them, they become samsara for you. So much so, in certain Indian vernacular languages, I have come with my samsaram means I have come with my wife and children. you know it is called telling it like it is. So therefore, this is something to see. This is something to really, really understand, that it is all manovilasa. It is almost like it's a dream situation, or it's a little daydream situation. You just sat down with a cup of tea, you wondered what it would be like to win the lottery, and then you had some nice, you went on a little trip to, to buy whatever you wanted, and you bought a house for everybody that who couldn't afford a house. You helped, you funded the COVID vaccines, you did all kinds of things. And this is, and then what? And then you realized, oh, the tea has got cold. I haven't even drunk one sip of the tea, and then you're back. This is what the whole Jagat is. The Jagat is a trip. It's a mental trip, because, regardless of where it exists, it's cognized in the mind. And so the Jagat first exists in the mind. And this is what has to be understood. Because it is filtered through your raga dveshas, it is filtered through your samskaras, your impressions. And it is filtered through your scars also, some pains and sorrows, some scars or the other. It is filtered through. And then that is what you see. Everything has ashobhana adhyasa or shobhana adhyasa. It is either a positive projection or a negative projection. So the Jagat itself is Ishvara's projection. On top of Ishvara's projection, you have your personal projection. And then what? It's a projected projection. That's why it is the two words are there. Kalpitam Indrajalam and then Mano Vilasam. It is filtered through your own, your own projection. This is what this Jagat is. And then this Jagat is not self-existent like you. It shines, but the shine belongs to Bhagavan. And if there is any doubt about whether the shine belongs to Bhagavan or not, read the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, where Bhagavan does, and where Bhagavan sues the Jagat and all the people in it to get back the intellectual property rights of everything in this thing. If you sing well, that voice in you is not you. He says forcefully, it is me. And I am the best of the Vedas. I am this, I am that. I am that which makes the plants grow. I am that. I am the sun. I am the moon. I am the luminaries. I am everything. You think you have done this? No, it is me. You think you are you think you are such a compassionate person. That compassion is me. You think you are an accommodative person. No, that's me. Kshama, accommodation, is me. And then what? Dhriti, the perseverance. You think you are a very tenacious person and you are fulfilling all your goals. That's not you. That's me. And so Bhagavan, takes back all the things that make the Jagat shine. Like that, this is, I suppose, symbolic of baby Hanumanji swallowing the sun. Baby Hanumanji mistook the sun for an apple and then leaped and then swaha, and the whole world was cast in darkness. And people wondered what happened. First they thought it's an eclipse, then they thought they couldn't believe it. They thought suddenly night has befallen. And then they saw baby Hanuman and they knew he had been up to some tricks. He had jumped and swallowed up the sun. And then they all went and took turns holding him and burping him to cough up the sun, cough up the sun back. Again, very symbolic. The sun is that the self-shining eye. This is Bhagavan. Sun is Bhagavan. Sun is symbolic of Bhagavan. And then what happens here is that if Bhagavan becomes adrishya, meaning if Bhagavan were to take away the power of everything that this Jagat is, this Jagat would come to a grinding halt. That is why Nataraja cannot stop the Tandava dance. He has to keep dancing because the world keeps going. He can't stop. If he stops, everything will go back, like even the planets that are in motion. Because they are in motion, they are there in their gravitational spheres. If they stop moving, they all collapse into their source, the sun. And so the whole Jagat is just an idea, of Bhagavan that is somehow magically brought to light. It's an idea that is there, and it is a karma bhumi, so to speak, for the jivas to get all their whatever, karmas, exhaust their karmas. If you want to give an explanation, we don't have to, but for those who want, that explanation is there. It is there, and then what? It is just simply is. Simply is. And this Jagat is simply dependent on this Bhagavan. So if Bhagavan withdrew from the Jagat would collapse. Bhagavan is there in each and every corner of the Jagat as the Jagat, shines as the Jagat. So if you're attracted to something in the Jagat, you're not attracted to that thing. We have to see how logically this flows. You are wanting that Bhagavan. You are attracted to that shine, to something. No, but I'm attracted to something unique. Well, that unique thing is Bhagavan. That general thing is also Bhagavan. The particular is Bhagavan. The unique is Bhagavan. You're not attracted to that thing which is going to fall apart in time. You're attracted to its essence, which is Bhagavan. So in other words, you're attracted to the truth of yourself. And so this world of moving and unmoving objects is what? Manovilasam. It's just a, first there is Bhagavan's projection, and then there is my own projection. And what is your own projection? Of how this Jagat enters your mind. It is filtered through the sieve of ragadveshas, of subjectivity, of pain, affliction, guilt, hurt, all these things. You don't see an objective world. You see a subjective world. And in this subjective world, there is there is no room for anything else. There is no room for Bhagavan. And so therefore it is called, Manovilasa. Manovilasa means it is just a little trip, a mental trip, a personal mental trip of the mind. Manovilasam. And so therefore this is what the whole thing is. And this is where one can see that Bhagavan means what? What is Ishvara. That is why our definition, we come back to that. That which is Ishvara. Ishvara is what is. Yeah. What is this Ishvara? Anything that exists is Ishvara. Existence belongs to Ishvara. It is just a name and form in which Ishvara has as though entered without undergoing any change. Just like you have inhabited your dream world and pervaded it completely without undergoing any change. Like even this, lottery that you won in the dream. Lottery ticket is you. The dream, the one who is having the ticket is also you. You have given yourself a body. The house is also you. The where you go to, encash the lottery ticket, that is also you. Everything is you. Characharatmakam Jagat, this inner dream world of moving and stationary objects, you pervade entirely, and when it's time to get up, it resolves into you. It comes out of you. You project it, you sustain it, you resolve it. So too this Jagat is dream-like, as it were. It is Ishvara's projection over which I have my own projection, a subjective, double subjective projection. And this is what, is what Aindrajalam, or what was that? Indrajalam, and then what is this, what is this Indrajala? It is just a Jagat which has full of entanglements. A Jagat which gives, which is in tandem, which goes in tandem with the ajnanam of the person. A person who has Atma Ajnanam will definitely see the world from a subjective and not an objective angle. Cannot see the world objectively, because the Atma Ajnanam morphs into all kinds of subjective nonsense, and that subjectivity comes in the way of seeing oneself as what? Satchit Sukha Eka Rupa, Paramatma Rupa. So it comes in the way of seeing myself as what? Sat Chit Ananda. Here the word Sukha is used. And so Sukha means Ananda. Here Ananta. Sat is of course that I exist is Sat, and Chit is all knowledge. We have already seen this. More we'll see tomorrow. Don't worry, we'll complete it tomorrow. If we understand these two verses, the other three will go very easily. Not to worry. Okay? Yeah. So I will stop here, and we can look at some questions. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Yeah, let us see what questions there are. How do we practice deferred gratification? I told you. You just tell yourself, not now. Then you get stronger, not today. And then not, let me see after 2-3 days. Like that, slowly. You have to, you don't, that immediate that instant gratification is a bad habit. And these bad habits make for, all kinds of viparita bhavana, these orientations which tell you that, you are you're as good as the body, which keep you in that ajnanam. That is what it is. So even if the knowledge has taken place, one regresses back to this body identification, even though one knows. So that is why, this deferment of objects of gratification, it's a good practice. Is it possible to catch the witness? No, because the witness is self-caught. If you want to ask it that, if you want to see it that way, the witness cannot be caught. The witness, more importantly, need not be caught. Yeah. So, no, it's not. It's no, you're not in endless regress. Perhaps you're overthinking it. You cannot be in endless regress. You have to stop somewhere. You're watching the mind, and then after you're watching the senses, beyond the mind, what is there? That is you. That's all we have to see. Okay. Is there any text that we can follow along? I posted it again. You can download it. Okay. How do we just become sakshi? Keep watching. Have some minutes during the day. Spend some moments with yourself, and keep watching whatever is happening outside, whatever is happening inside. It is, that is, you keep watching. Then you are, uh, do that. Then you become a witness. Is the consciousness sakshi? You know. Mm, well, conscious sakshi is consciousness. Consciousness, is not sakshi, because when you say sakshi, there is a sakshya. You are observing something, correct? When there is nothing to observe, then you cannot say consciousness is sakshi. Sakshi is consciousness. So consciousness simply is. Consciousness is sukhaika, ekarupa, satchit sukha rupa. This is what it is. As a wannabe seeker, how can one develop a mind of contentment when one is not sure what is it that one is seeing as contentment? Yeah, you just go through the jagat, and then say, you try one thing, it doesn't work, and then you try another thing, it doesn't work, and then try the third thing, it doesn't work, and then come to Vedanta, give it a chance. Maybe it will work. That's all it is. So the contentment one is seeking, one may not be sure whether this object will give it or that object will give it. So you try, no problem. First you try. That's why in the Mundakopanishad, Parikshya Lokan Karmachitan. So Nirveda comes, the Vairagya comes after examining all the fields of experiences and knowing that they cannot make me happy. And so naturally, so then what happens is, you get to that place and see this, and until you see this, you cannot, you cannot stop other activities. It's like a catch 22. Until you stop the activities, you cannot see this. Until you see this, you cannot stop the activities. So you start somewhere. That's why a little bit of Vedanta is good to invite in one's life. So that is one way. You trial and error, which everybody does. Another way, if one is ready, is through Shraddha. That the Shastra and the teacher say that this is alone is going to make you contented, or recognize that you are the truth of this universe, is the only way to feel contentment, and you have some Shraddha towards that, and you give it the benefit of doubt. Yeah. So then what else? That's it. No other questions. Can deferring also lead to procrastination in dealing with important decisions? No, we are not talking of deferment of important decisions. We are talking of deferments with where the desires are putting pressure on you. Those objects of desire. Okay? Yeah, with your goals and everything, whatever you need to do, please do. Yeah, that's what we are talking of. We are talking of that pressure-filled desires that make you want to do something, and that is what you defer. Okay? Yeah.
Thank you, Samneji. So
Om
wonderful
Om,
to
nice to
see
see
you. Om.
you. Take care.
So
Om
Thank
Om.
lovely
you, Swamini ji.
to
Very
be in your
nice.
presence.
Beena, wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Very, very nice.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All the best. So the last session will be tomorrow, same time, and we will see. Okay? Yeah. Take care. Om Namah Shivaya.